Hello everybody, it's GirlGotGame, and welcome back to the Crimson Flower that divides lunar coupling. As you can see by this lovely face on the screen, we are here to do Naran's route. I've got so many questions about how exactly this is going to play out, especially considering the last bad ending I experienced in this game. But I'm cautiously hopeful that things will be okay somehow. Anyway, I'm starting over a new game, of course, and I wanted to include a few scenes on the way to branching off to Naran's route, because I always view these things in a different light after the fact. So, first thing we're going to do is this point of view from Naran in the beginning, and then there's going to be some edits and stuff fading to black. You know the drill. So, let's begin.
Achoo! I wonder if someone is talking about me.
Yeah, it's me.
I sneeze when someone talks about me. My dead mother used to joke about that. I looked down at the buzzing castle town, praying that the rumors would be good. I hope the women haven't been treated badly. They're probably okay. There is Lord Toya's law, after all. If I don't say it out loud, I'd feel anxious and suffocate. As I closed my eyes in prayer, a concerned voice called out to me from a short distance away.
What's wrong, Naran? Are you hurting somewhere?
Because I closed my eyes, it seems that I was misunderstood that I was not feeling well. The one who approached me worriedly was the man called the best doctor in the country, Ruzi. Oh, no. I was just praying that things would turn out well.
I see. I'm praying too that no more people get hurt.
You're just like Lord Toya. Sometimes the king, Lord Toya, when he visits Bro's mansion, looks like Ruzi now when he talks about the future of women. He looks like he had something bitter in his mouth for a long time that he didn't want to chew. I'm more worried about Ruzi than I am about myself. Ruzi is one of those researching a cure for the rot to improve the condition of the women. I think that because that research didn't get done in time before the war, he feels even more rushed and is working recklessly. If I looked closely, I could see dark circles under his eyes. When I was worried and stared at him, Ruzi, who seemed to have realized the meaning of my gaze, awkwardly diverted the conversation.
What brings you to the castle, Naran?
Well, I heard that Bro was injured in a fight with Roos King, so I was worried and was looking for him.
I see. I didn't see him anywhere in any of the military installations, so I'm assuming he's in the royal castle.
Yeah, but I couldn't find him in the castle either. If he's moving around, then maybe his injuries aren't that bad.
Well, if it was a serious injury, they'd be talking to me, so maybe it's a minor injury.
I hope so. I'm worried about Bro because sometimes he moves even when he's badly wounded.
I don't think people who are seriously injured walk around with angry shoulders like that.
Lord Seth, you're here too! Lord Seth is supposed to be the eldest son of a great aristocrat with the second oldest lineage after the royal family, but he doesn't give off that kind of vibe at all. He always had stubble on his face, and seemed to hang out with his friends whenever he had free time. His title is secretary to his father, Minister Orta, but he doesn't seem to be working. He says, "I'm the prodigal son until the day I die." He's not very aristocratic, so he hates being treated like one. That's why, even though I do call him Lord, I speak to him casually. Lord Seth, you saw Bro!
Yeah. From a distance, though. He seemed to be very angry.
Yeah, he was given an impossible task for this battle. But I think he knew that and agreed before deploying, so... there must have been something else? I hope it's not bad news.
If it's good news, I heard a rumor.
Good news?
Apparently, the commander's taken an interest in a certain woman.
Huh? Really? Bro has? Bro is extremely popular, but he's never taken the initiative to hit on a girl on his own. If Bro has taken an interest, then Lord Seth is right. That is good news.
Well, it's good news for you, isn't it, since you wanted to get married?
Yeah! But why the sudden interest?
I heard that several of Lord Surin's subordinates were sent to the hospital.
Ah, I see. Before he went into battle, he said something like, "I want a tough, strong-minded woman. A person who can fight that much even when surrounded by men might have a chance." I see. I hope that person would become Bro's wife.
Ah, you say that now.
It's too soon to tell. No matter how strong-minded she is, it's impossible for her to choose someone as her husband right after she was forcibly brought here.
I know that, but... I chuckle at Ruzi, who still looks as if he's biting a bitter bug, and shift my gaze to the setting sun. When I bathed in the warm light all over my body, a fire of hope lit up in my chest. But you know, if such a strong woman were to become his wife, I'm sure Bro will be reassured. And by extension, she will have the power to change this continent. I genuinely believed that at the time. Because I never imagined that kind Bro would do such a thing.
Alright. Judging by that, it sounds like Naran didn't approve of, Surin's methods, shall we say, in the future. Alright. I am gonna go skip ahead for a bit, and then I will catch you up when something interesting happens. Okay, we have made it to the market, and, if you saw the last bad ending for Surin, you know why this scene is important to Naran, so I thought I should include this for sure. So, here we go.
Big brother!
A voice called out from behind Surin, accompanied with light footsteps. When the person who ran up noticed me, he stopped and looked at me with round eyes. The young man inhales in surprise, perhaps as a reaction to my blonde hair. Yep, that's definitely what it was. It's strange. He's staring at me enough to be considered impolite, but somehow I don't mind. His senses might have dulled, staring at Surin's prey with dagger-like eyes.
Naran, this here is my bride.
Oh, I see. Then may I introduce myself?
I wanted to interrupt with who is who's what, but before I could do so, Surin had turned his back to me. It seems that his interests had suddenly changed. I'm relieved to be out of the situation, but I find myself sighing in frustration over his unpredictable, intense moods. The young man called Naran withdrew the hand he had extended towards me and hurriedly chased after Surin.
Hey, wait, bro! If she's to become your wife, that would make her my sis! I should at least say hi.
She'll be coming to my house eventually, so you can greet her then. We're going.
Poor Naran. Bro. Brother? But they don't look anything alike. Alright. Well, I think that's a good point for that. I shall continue on and bring you guys back in momentarily. Okay, our girl is a married woman once again, so that's staying the same for Naran's route, which I'm not surprised by. This is the morning after. I picked a different choice here, actually, and then was like, oh right, Naran's coming in to wake us up, so let's include this. Like hell I'm going to answer it. Though I'll have to face him eventually, I'm not prepared mentally yet. I decided to give a little bit of time and pulled the sheets up. What should I do? Maybe I should get up after all. The person entered without a reply, leading to a bit of confusion. The footsteps approached and stopped beside the bed as I was still wondering what kind of face I should be putting on. I thought I'd be woken up, but for whatever reason, they didn't even call out to me. The person who entered only left their presence as I could feel them looking down on me. Yeah, this scene already has like a completely different connotation now that I know what Naran's been thinking since he first saw her. Oh, I hope everything works out okay in this route. I was wondering what to do, and after laying there for a while...
Leave it to Bro. He really got himself a magnificent wife.
That's not Surin's voice. Hearing this voice from close distance, I nearly jumped up. Who is it? Unable to stand the feeling of being looked down upon, I opened my eyes.
Ah!
Ah! I was surprised at his sudden surprise. We both jumped back and held down our hearts as they were about to beat out of our chests.
Hey, if you're awake, then say so. That really scared me, you know.
I'm sorry? Speaking with the angry look that he had, I couldn't help but to apologize to him. The boy, having regained his senses after I apologized, straightened his posture, removed himself from the wall he'd stuck himself to, and cleared his throat.
I guess we should start with self-introductions. I'm Naran, one of Lord Surin's men.
I'm pretty sure this kid is the one who called out to Surin before in the market. I wonder if he has a different position from the other subordinates. Incidentally, I do remember Surin giving orders to someone like a subordinate last night. I couldn't feel any sort of presence beyond the door, which creeped me out. But the boy in front of me now... right. I thought, back in Surin's route, it would be this. He feels more friendly than creepy. But I found out he actually likes this one. There it is. However, the boy in front of me now gives off a different impression. He's full of presence, or lively. There are better ways of saying this, but he feels like a young kid and not a military commander's subordinate. That said, he doesn't feel like a servant either. I wonder what his position is. I'm Naala. I responded with a bit of caution, and the boy who called himself Naran opened his big eyes as his facial expression broke. His face changes rapidly over a short period of time, reinforcing his youthful impression.
Mrs., you sure do have a beautiful voice.
Huh?
You know, I always did figure that bro would nab himself a magnificent beauty for a wife. But Mrs., you're even more beautiful than I ever imagined. And somehow, it makes me happy as if it were me. But getting such a beautiful wife, that's bro for ya.
Yeah, I think we should do this one. What do you mean, beautiful woman? Yeah, there we go. You're already flustering her, Naran. What do you mean, beautiful woman? I've been subjected to flattering compliments before, and I'm not so naive as to let them go to my head. But something about his straight, shining eyes as he said the words touched my heart. So you are...
Ah, call me Naran.
Naran, what are you doing here? Upon being asked, Naran clapped his hands together as if remembering something.
Ah! Oh yeah, bro asked me to call for you.
Surin is already awake.
Yeah, he's waiting to have his meal with you.
Huh, we have to eat together? I was about to say why when I realized the obvious. I became Surin's wife last night, in other words, a member of this house. Morning, noon, night. There is no other place to eat than here. That obviously hurt my heart a bit. Okay, I'll be there soon. Honestly, I didn't want to see him, but I was scared to think of what might happen in the future if I didn't. Scolding my heavy mind and body, I got out of bed in order to get ready. Ah. I finally realized that I was wearing a robe. I don't remember putting it on, so Surin must have dressed me while I was out. Thinking that he was probably gawking at my naked body the whole time made my face flush all at once. And before I could stop him, Naran picked up a small bottle that had fallen beside the bed and muttered,
Oh? This is the wound medicine that Ruzi made. Did bro get hurt somewhere?
Naran didn't seem to put the pieces together, which made things even more awkward. This is wound medicine?
Ah, yeah. So, I don't really know why, but I was asked to go pick it up, as bro said he'd need it after taking his bride. I heard it's okay to apply it to sensitive skin. Mrs.?
Ah, that's... Speaking of which, last night Surin indicated that this had a different usage purpose. And it was what I initially thought after seeing the alternate scene for this game. It's what it's implying. If this liquid is wound medicine, it was probably made to prevent inflammation after intercourse, amongst other things. Okay, we did that last time. Let's be suspicious of him this time. Maybe he knows that I'm the king's sister and is trying to use me for something.
Alright, I'll take you to the dining room.
Thanks. If he thinks that I'm really the king's sister, I can't give him anything to confirm his suspicions. With that carved into my chest, I followed Naran with the determination of going to the battlefield. Okay, I think we will skip breakfast with this guy. And have breakfast with our boy instead. I just said I don't want to right now.
But Mrs., you really need to eat to keep up your strength.
Thanks. I'm sure I'll eat at lunchtime. Okay. Okay, what's going on? Has he left now? Okay, yeah, so Surin left. Let's start from here. That should be good. I really love the system of being able to just skip around in scenes. That's so handy.
Mrs., you're not quite feeling right now, aren't you? If the king were to see you now, he might misunderstand that this were forced and annul the marriage.
Oh no!
That's why maybe he's stalling for time. That's what I think, at least. This is just my speculation, so don't tell bro, okay?
Well, it was kind of half-assed. Even if I complained to uninvolved parties, that doesn't change the current situation. I let out a small sigh and looked at the door that Surin had left through. I can't believe he wants kids that badly. He must really want to be an aristocrat. Hey, Naran.
What?
I heard that Surin could become an aristocrat if he had an heir. Is that true?
Yeah. Bro's a military commander, so he does have that right. But going from being a commoner to being a military commander is already plenty amazing.
Is that so?
Yeah. Is it different in Roos?
In Roos, we don't make as much of a distinction based on lineage or family background as in Nasla. In that sense, it's a world where ability is far more important than in Nasla.
Wow. As a commoner myself, I can't help being a little envious.
With so much discrimination, how did Surin obtain the highest rank in the military?
That's due to Bro's very extensive military accomplishments. Bro was instrumental in preventing the invasion from abroad. I was almost killed by the invaders when Bro saved my life.
Speaking of, Nasla was almost invaded 5 years ago. So you were almost killed by the invaders, but aren't you from that country? So what happened to you? Why were you almost killed? It's still fresh in my mind that 5 years ago, a country from overseas, seeking to take advantage of them in a weakened state, launched a war of aggression against Nasla. I didn't know much about it, as I wasn't involved in politics, but I did overhear that the king and one hero had saved the country. So that was Surin.
The previous king recognized Bro for his talents. That wrapping he wears was a gift from the previous king.
Ah, so that's why. I get why Noel spoke to him in such acerbic tones on that first day.
Really, Bro is strong and cool. A man among men. And that's what you like about him too, right, Mrs.?
I can't remember if this was like a Naran affection or a Surin affection. I don't think it really matters, but I'm just gonna make a save just in case. So if I do this, Ah, it is for him. I wondered. The fact that he asked with such a sparkle in his eyes made it impossible for me to say what I really wanted to. Yep. I had a feeling. Naran was a Nasla man, but it's not like I wanted to hurt him. Perhaps it was Naran's straightforward admiration of his bro, Surin, that reminded me of my older self, who admired my adoptive father, Tingle. No one likes to see someone they care about be humiliated. I was aware of Naran's gaze as he wanted to say something, but I pretended not to notice as I got up from my seat. I wonder if Shalu really is okay. The position of the sun changed while I was thinking about it. I let out a heavy sigh, knowing by the length of the shadows that it was almost noon. By now, everyone should know about what happened last night. I hope they're not too confused. I'm especially curious about what happened to Shalu after she escaped. Is she really okay? Is she blaming herself? What will she do this time? Anxiety grows in proportion to the passage of time. But in the current condition, where it would take care to leave this room, much less Surin's mansion, I can't go to check up on everyone. Even now, Surin's subordinates are standing at the entrance to the room. Even having just become a contract bride, with the guards standing watch here, I feel more like a prisoner. I get asked why even when I go to the washroom, which is very suffocating. I let out a sigh for the first time since this morning, when I hear light footsteps approaching and look up.
It's me, Mrs. May I come in?
I think I did this and it wasn't good. Yeah, let's do the go-ahead. Give him the go-ahead. There we go. I noticed that his voice was slightly less energetic than it had been in the morning. It intrigues me, motivating my spirits which otherwise would have been down. Go ahead.
I'm not quite sure what to say.
He trailed off at the end, perhaps indicating his confusion. He scratched his cheek, looking at me with a face that seemed to say he was feeling awkward and sorry.
Bro didn't say anything, so I assumed that Mrs. had married him because you fell in love with him. But when I saw you this morning, I thought that something was wrong.
Did you hear it from someone?
From one of Bro's aides in the mansion. I had no idea what I was talking about, and I said a lot of insensitive things. I'm sorry.
He bowed his head as he spoke. His shoulders, retaining some of their youth, quivered a little. That's not true.
Huh?
You've shown me more care than Surin ever has. Even now, you're thinking about my feelings. Naran was only genuinely happy for his respected boss's celebration. I can't blame him if he had no evil intentions. It may take some time before I can look at a Nasla man with unclouded eyes, but looking at Naran as an individual, I do kind of like him a little bit. He's always trying so hard and is honest, so I feel at ease when I'm interacting with him. It's kind of like looking at a little brother you can't just leave be. Alright, here we go. We're going full-on little brother mode. Everybody, hang on. We're gonna get through this section somehow. I wonder if that's why he's more like a brother than a subordinate to Surin. While thinking, the face of my problems came to mind, causing me to frown.
But Bro is thinking about your feelings.
How is that?
Actually, in Nasla, married men and women sleep in the same sleeping quarters, but Bro gave you your own room.
Maybe he just didn't want to get murdered in his sleep?
Nah, I don't think that's it. I'm sure Bro knows that you're afraid of him, so probably he's waiting for you to stop being that way.
I wonder if he's that generous. I certainly can't see it. If he were such a generous person, he wouldn't have pushed me down to the floor when we first met. With apologies to Naran, my first impression of Surin is so strong that it's difficult to think of anything he does as having good intent behind it. Girl, facts.
Ah, oh yeah!
Thinking he had come up with some valid counter-argument, Naran turned and left the room. I was taken aback by the abrupt action, and soon the sound of lively footsteps returned.
Huh. Yeah, this!
Huh? Naran held a cylindrical vessel in his hand. Peeking inside due to the momentum at which it was presented to me, I saw a thick, pale orange liquid shimmering. From the color and smell, I'd say it's probably smashed fruit and cow's milk mixed together. The sweet aroma made my stomach growl.
When I'm hungry, I'm always a bit irritable, yeah?
Oh right, I forgot the... Here, Naala, have a Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry.
So if you drink this, you might feel a little bit differently.
He's really grasping for straws here. It is true that when hunger is too much, people become irritable easily. Even if I have no intention of rethinking my thoughts about Surin, Naran does have a point. If my body is weak, so too is my mind. I can't even think straight. More than anything else, now I was happy to have proof that he did care about me. Naran, by chance did you make this?
Yeah. You weren't very hungry this morning, so I made something that'd be easy to drink. I chilled it up to now, so I think it's pretty good. I also drink this when I don't have an appetite. It's pretty effective, I guarantee it.
Proudly, he flexes the bicep on his arm, like a young boy. I think we're around the same age, but I can't help but to giggle at this cute gesture. Yeah, it does seem to be effective. I drink a sip while responding. The sweet juice flowed down the back of my throat smoothly, probably because of its mellow texture. Immediately, my brain begins to crave it, as if remembering hunger. I should have been taking sips, but before I knew it, I was holding the container in an elevated position. It's delicious.
There's plenty of nutrients in this, so you should be feeling better by night. It's thanks to this that I've got such a strong, manly body.
A strong, manly body.
Aw, you just made fun of me.
I did not.
I mean, sure, I'm thinner than Bro, but I've still got muscle. Missus?
Ah. There were droplets falling into the container. Following them with my eyes, I realized that I was crying. Ah. Sorry. Something must have gotten into my eyes.
Missus?
I tried to fake it somehow, but the tears just kept coming one after the other. Why? There have been many painful events since I was kidnapped. Even so, I never cried, so why is it coming out now? I was terribly frustrated, but also somewhat relieved, which was a strange feeling.
I'm also a Nasla man, so I might be an enemy to you.
I'd hung my head with tears streaming down my face when I heard a voice on the back of my head. It sounded both hesitant and determined at the same time.
But I want to be there for you and support you. I know it's a selfish thing to say, because I can't send you back home. I'll do my best to make you as happy as possible. So...
Thanks, Naran. Naran, with a pained look on his face, reached out with his arm. For a moment I thought he was going to touch my cheek. He probably almost did. But after a moment, his fingertips slipped away and landed on my hand, which was holding the cup. He took the empty vessel away from me and spoke with a wry smile.
I'll bring you another.
Oh, I don't need that much. Naran ran out at a great speed, as if he couldn't hear me tell him to stop. When I was alone, the word enemy that Naran had just said fell into my heart. Enemy. Naran certainly is from the enemy country of Nasla that kidnapped us, but that doesn't mean he personally wanted to do that. I wonder if he's looking for a good reason to be nice to me. When I think of the country of Nasla, I always feel a sense of anger. Depressing thoughts accumulate. And yet, when I face people in person such as Toya, Ruzi, Naran, I feel confused. I don't know why it feels so horrible at times to hold on to hate. Let's stop this. It's best not to think about anything extra right now. I dropped my eyelids deeply and covered the haze in my chest.